Good evening, my fellow friends, my fellow neighbors, and my fellow shining stars. The next trolley stop is here. The next trolley stop is now. Welcome back to an all-new edition of the Empowered Publicity Children's Book Spotlight Series. To be precise, this special trolley stop, the special pre-Thanksgiving trolley stop, is episode number 97. My name is Jonathan Masiulionis, the president here at Empowered Publicity. Thank you so much for spending some time with us wherever you are, wherever you may be. As I had alluded to beforehand, this is the Thanksgiving week for all of our friends and neighbors and shining stars, or listeners and viewers out across the United States. Shortly after 7 o'clock Eastern Time, Monday evening, November the 23rd, and for all of our friends and neighbors out here on the West Coast, especially to those here in our backyard here in San Diego, shortly after 4 o'clock Pacific time on the 23rd of November. We hope that all of you are spending time with your loved ones, your friends, and your family, as it is officially the holiday season, as we are also in the midst of continuing our holiday season celebration at Empowered Publicity, and the countdown to the 100th episode of the Children's Book Spotlight Series, which is coming your way in less than 1 month's time. We're looking forward to spending some time again with all of you tonight to share a very important and a very timely message. Now, raise your hand if you've asked yourself this question, either consciously or subconsciously. I want to, but can I? I'm going to raise my hand, because that's happened to me, I know, plenty of times throughout the course of my life. How often have you asked yourself this question, or seen your little one pondering the very same thing? Once again, I want to, but can I? When we fail to trust our guidance, when we second guess ourselves, it's easy to become lost and self-doubt, and even feel powerless. And that's not a good feeling. When we're feeling powerless, when we're feeling self-doubt, especially as the result of not trusting our guidance, our intuition, and second-guessing ourselves. But thanks to two of our newest neighbors, children and adults alike can remember the divine calling that lies within our hearts, especially right now, while also remembering the power of one person. Yes, the power of one person. One act of kindness, or even one joyous experience, can make more of a difference than we can ever imagine. So again, if you're kind of asking yourself, especially with the holiday season now here, can I make a difference? Can what it is that I'm doing for someone else make a difference? Can one specific experience change my day, transform my life? The answer is yes. And of course, leave it to a brand new, heartfelt, and heart-centered children's book to be able to help show us the way. The brand new release, courtesy of our friends and neighbors at Miriam Laundry. It is now available. The Power of One. You can head on to the official website of Lori Parks by visiting loriparksauthor.com, her official website, Lori's website. We're going to be sharing in the comments below for those of you who have Amazon as your chosen destination to be able to purchase your brand new children's books for the holiday season. If you are tuning in live, if you are watching this week's episode of the Children's Book Spotlight Series, you'll just have to wait a couple of weeks until mid-December, at which point in time the books are going to be uploaded to Amazon, and you can purchase your copy of The Power of One on Amazon in mid-December. Joining us is our featured guest this week on the Children's Book Spotlight series. Again, her brand new release, The Power of One. It is now available by heading on to Lori Park's official website, which is loriparksauthor.com. Once again, the link is below in the comments. If you'd like to purchase Lori's book on Amazon in mid-December, we'll be all set, and let's do our part to bring Lori up to bestseller status for the holiday season and give her that special holiday gift for all the love and joy that she's bringing into the hearts of children and parents and families all across Canada, United States, and around the world. So without further ado, Lori Parks is joining us here on the Children's Book Spotlight series. Lori, I look forward to our conversation for such a long period of time. Thank you for spending some time with us here in our neighborhood this evening and this week. How are things with you tonight?
Very well, Jonathan. No place I'd rather be right now than here with you. I don't know what quite happened there at the beginning, but thanks for hanging in there and waiting for me. Thank you.
You know, one of the things that this time has taught us about is patience. And I think that, when we take the time to be a little bit more patient, that we're much more appreciative of the simpler things, conversations, any sort of just regular routine things we have that much more of a greater appreciation for. Your book is so beautiful on so many levels. I know one of the things when you were sharing your message on social media, and I saw it just, I love cover arts of children's books. And even before you crack open your book, this is such beautiful imagery. Your illustrator, P.S. Brooks, did such an amazing job. Before we talk about the book, and of course, the wonderful journey that you have been on, I always like to start off our conversations here, our trolley stops on the Children's Book Spotlight series, to have the author, the illustrator, a featured guest that's joining us to be able to share the inspiration behind the book. Because as I always like to say, there's two stories. There's your book, and then there's the story that led into the book. So I know that obviously you were not alone in the creation of this book. Could you share with us how your grandson, of all people, helped to bring this message to life for all of us?
Yes. This book was somewhat easy to write, as it's a true story born from a conversation with my grandson, Nolan, who was 9 at the time I wrote the book. He's almost 13 now, which is hard to believe, but wow, time flies. He was at an assembly at school, which was focused on the issue of poverty and childhood hunger in Africa. And it just really spoke to his heart. If I'm remembering correctly, I think my daughter Lindsay got a call from school to come pick him up early that day. He was crying and just very upset. And he came to my house, a couple of days later, and we were talking about it. And he wanted to find a way to help. And he said, "Nana, I'm only little and I'm just a kid. There's only one of me. I do." And there's where this story was born from. I saw him struggling, and I wanted to help him see that it doesn't matter if you're little, it doesn't matter if you're an adult. There is always a way. We can find a way to help somebody. So actually what that led to was that Christmas we were out shopping, and we were in a store, and we found these beautiful ornaments crafted by a family in Africa. And when you purchased the ornaments, the proceeds went back to the family to help with their food, water, healthcare, whatever they needed. So there was just a lot of synchronicity in that happening. And Nolan saw that, yes, there's always something we can do. We can find a way. If we want to help somebody, we will find a way. So my children and my grandchildren have always been my inspiration. I refer to them as my why, my reasons for believing. I want them to look to me and see me model resilience, see me putting kindness forth in the world. And I want them to just be able to say, look at mom, look at Nana, look at grandma. Look at her chasing her dreams. She did it. So this book it's been my lifelong dream to be a published author. So, you know, I had to love myself enough to nurture the dream in my heart and bring it into being. But it was also very important for me, for my children and grandchildren, to see that if you have a dream, you do not give up. You push and you push until your dream is realized.
How meaningful and special was it for you that not only you're achieving one of your missions here on earth, to be a children's author and to share from your heart your gifts, your skills, your talents with the children, but knowing that your grandson helped you to bring this to form and shape? Could you put that feeling into words for us if you could?
Oh gosh. I don't know if I have the words for that, Jonathan. It's just just a beautiful, honest, real life moment between my grandson and I, and us working through it together. And to have this book out in the world, to have it be inspired by my grandson, who I love so dearly as I do my other, let's think now, my other 4 grandchildren. I actually, my 5th grandchild was just born actually 2 weeks ago tonight, little baby Miles. So it's just a beautiful thing. It's a real story. I didn't have to struggle to write it.
Nope.
It came quite easily. And just to know my grandchildren will be able to hold this book in their hands and say, Nana, Grandma wrote this. I dedicated the book to them. It's dedicated to my grandchildren.
I feel that there is so much good that your book is doing, especially as of right now. Now, it's kind of interesting because most children's authors who have published books that are coming out right now, most of them had the idea, the seed planted in their mind a long time ago. So this book obviously was in process before the pandemic happened, before COVID happened. I feel that one of the things that's very important is there's a lot of fear and doubt and panic and stress and chaos. There's a lot of lower level energy that's out there. And I feel that it's so important to be able to listen to the children, because I feel that the children have a lot of the answers to a lot of our questions, so to speak. And I think that your book and your story with your grandson is just another reminder of that. I'm curious if you could talk to our listeners and viewers, our friends and neighbors, about not only the experience which you just shared about Nolan helping this idea come to life, but how he was able to support you and encourage you along the way throughout this whole process.
Oh boy. I received a lot of encouragement from Nolan, my other grandchildren, everybody in my life. I am so blessed to have so many supportive people. Nolan knows that I have been writing my whole life. He has read other things. I've written many things. He knows writing has been my lifelong passion, I feel. I mean, I think I've known since the age of 9 when I wrote my first poem. All I ever wanted to be was a writer. And he was pretty thrilled to know he was going to be the star of his own book. You know, that's a pretty cool thing.
Yes, it is.
Actually, the thing he was most excited about is that his dog, Pablo, is featured in the book. That was the best thing to him. Not that he's in the illustrations or his name's on the back of the book, but yes, he's encouraged me the whole way. And the best feeling in the world was when I got a sample copy of my book and I brought it over to his house and I said, Nolan, here it is. We did it. We did it. Here it is. And just his eyes just lit up as he flipped through the pages. And one of the sweetest moments, and I'll probably cry, just a minute.
It's okay.
The sweetest moments of my life was him holding that book in his hands and saying, Nana, can you please sign this for me? I want to display it in my room. And that was literally just one of the sweetest moments in my life. He's always encouraged me. I just love him to bits. One of the biggest blessings in my life.
Thank you for sharing that. I feel that the bond that we share with children. Now, I haven't been blessed to be a father or grandfather just yet. At some point in time, that's in the tea leaves, so be it. I feel that it really makes the process, I can almost feel that it's made the process of creating this book and the publishing process and now the promoting process, it makes things that much more enjoyable. Because, you know, whenever we do something for the first time, if we start a business, if we write a book, if we're in a new relationship, if we're just learning a new skill set, we can have fears, doubts, we can question ourselves, as I talked about beforehand, the whole self-doubt, that inner critic, so to speak. Obviously, having your grandson in the equation helped out tremendously. One of the things that we love to also talk about on the Children's Book Spotlight series is, especially for all of the aspiring writers and authors, or the writers and authors who are just now taking the most important steps on their path, or the authors that, you know, really on the verge of signing that big publishing deal, and they might be experiencing some stuff, some very strong emotion. What were some of the challenges and difficulties that you experienced in the process of putting this book together? And besides the encouragement and the love of your grandson and your family, what were some of the things that helped you to get through to the other side of those challenges and difficulties in the process?
Oh, Jonathan, I definitely faced some challenges, let me tell you. One of the first ones was, I've been writing my whole life, like 50 years I've been writing. It's always been poetry, it's always been in rhyme. And up until this point, all my writing has been song lyrics. I've entered my lyrics in a lot of contests, won a lot of awards. But what I learned when you're writing a children's book, in song lyrics, the lines don't have to end in perfect rhyme. If you listen to country songs, you'll pick up on that. But in writing a children's book, it is very important to write in perfect rhyme. And that was a whole new skill set I had to learn. That was a challenge. I had the most amazing editor, Sharon Jennings, who actually teaches writing at Ryerson University in Toronto. I couldn't have had a better editor to help me on this path. She was just amazing. Like, I couldn't tell you how many rewrites I did of this book to get it where it is today. There were days in my room where I locked myself in my room. I still write with pen and paper, so my husband would come to my bedroom door, and I'd just be surrounded by crumpled pieces of paper, you know, write an idea to them like that. Pitch. I'd be surrounded by paper. Another challenge, a huge challenge, that was my mistake. My book illustrations were designed for the wrong size book, not the 8.5 by 8.5 book it is now. And bless my illustrator's heart, when we realized that, he went back to the drawing board, did them all over again for me. He's just a P.S. Brooks, just the most beautiful man with the most beautiful heart. And the biggest challenge that I have faced, and I know I've shared this with you, was I got some samples from my first print run, which I did overseas. And when I opened them, I cried. They were not the quality I had hoped they would be. So I had to go back and start a whole new print run. I have started a whole new print run with Reasons here in Canada, and I'll be getting my books mid-December. and I can't wait. They're going to be perfect. But that was the biggest challenge, thinking, oh, my books are here. Dreams come true. And then there's a roadblock. So I had to pivot very quickly and just go with the flow and do another print run. Those are some of the challenges.
And I'm so glad that you moved through those challenges, because this book that I'm holding in my hand, it is such positive energy. It is such uplifting energy. These illustrations are so simplistic, yet so vibrant at the same point in time. They convey such a message of truth, a message of really what we need to hear right now. And that could seem like a little cliche, because, especially with this being the holiday season, and depending upon, where one is living in the world, someone may be, back in a lockdown-esque sort of setting. These are the messages that we really need to hear and see and feel and surround ourselves with each and every single day, because it is true that one person can make a difference. I actually wanted to share just a couple of my favorite illustrations to be able to start off with in the process. Of course, Nolan looks like such a very gifted lad. Illustrated, I can only imagine what he's like in the human form. Nolan is feeling these sorts of emotions. He's feeling sadness. He's feeling challenged. He's wondering why things are the way that they are. Before we actually talk a little bit about the illustrations specifically, and without giving away the whole entire story, so to speak, if you can share what our listeners and viewers and our friends and neighbors can expect, what they can enjoy when they actually purchase their copy of The Power of One.
Yes, as I said, it's all a true story. So it's very easy for me to remember. At the beginning of the story, he comes home from school. He's dragging his little backpack. He's feeling down. And he's thinking about that assembly at school and these children on the other side of the world experiencing hunger. He says, "Mom, I'm home." He goes up to his little bed, pulls the covers up, and he's processing and thinking, and he knows he wants to make a difference, but he just can't. He just feels too little and powerless. So he goes down to have a talk with his mom and says, "Mom, there's only one of me. The problem is there's only one of me, Mom. How can I ever make a difference in this world?" And his mom, wraps her arms around him and says, "It's true, there's only one of you, but look around, you'll see. The power of one is everywhere and lives in you and me. Look around, start paying attention. You'll see how many powerful things are only one of in this world that make a beautiful difference." So Nolan goes on this own little journey by himself. He starts paying attention to the beautiful things there are only one of in the world. It only takes one crimson sun to light the morning sky. It only takes one star to wish upon at night. It only takes one friend to know that someone's always there. It only takes one "I love you" to show someone we care. And he realizes, yes, there is great power in one. And so he really goes on his own little journey trying to figure this out for himself. And then at the end of the story, he finds a way to help a little girl in Africa. And, he's just so proud of himself. He found a way to help in his own special way. He might not have changed the whole world, but he made a difference in one person's life. And one of my favorite quotes is, "To the world, you may be only one person, but to one person, you may be the world." We might not be able to save the whole world individually as ourselves, but each and every one of us, every day, can find a way to help one person.
I agree wholeheartedly. 3 of my favorite illustrations in the book. I have a very, it seems a more profound connection with with the stars and with the moon than I ever have before. And there's actually a reason why I refer to those who join us here at Empowered Publicity as not only our listeners and viewers, not only our friends and our neighbors, but our fellow shining stars. So of course, starting off with one shining star is all we need to wish upon at night. And that's totally true. All you have to look on is just that one beautiful star in the sky. You can call it your North Star, and you can place that wish, what we refer to as well as your rocket launches of desire. You can put those out there and trust and affirm that whatever it is that your heart is desiring can and will become your reality. I always, every month I have conversations with the moon when it's full. I refer to the moon as La Luna, and it just happens to be there's a full moon in the sky above. So one moon is all we need to change the ocean's ebb and flow. And one of my favorites, because I'm actually looking forward to getting a dog shortly after the holidays, a part Shih Tzu Maltese. There's no one holding an umbrella over a little doggy. And it says, one small kind act performed with love is all we need to be the rainbow in somebody's storm, the change we want to see. And again, you can enjoy all of these illustrations that we're sharing with you here on episode number 97 of the Empowered Publicity Children's Book Spotlight Series. Once again, our brand new release that we are sharing here this week on the program is The Power of One, a brand new release from Lori Parks. It is now available courtesy of our friends and neighbors at Miriam Laundry. Again, you can head on over to Lori's official website at loriparksauthor.com. We have the link below in the comments so that you can purchase your copy right now. If, of course, you would like to be able to, hold off until the middle of December and go down the route of Amazon, you can do so. But why wait? Celebrate the whole Christmas season, remembering the message, the entire holiday season, remembering that you too can make a difference. This book makes a fantastic stocking stuffer. It makes a perfect Hanukkah gift. So even if you don't celebrate Christmas, the message, the heartfelt intentionality of the power of one will make a difference in your life and in the lives of your little one as well. If you decide to purchase your copy of The Power of One through Amazon, feel free to leave a 5-star review for Lori, as that is one of the ways that you can make a difference for Lori as well, too, and to be able to support children's authors across the country and around the world. One of the things, Lori, that I really feel your book helps all of us with, children and adults alike, and I feel that it's really the theme, core of our conversation tonight. And again, I feel that when we help to nurture our little ones, we're also doing the same for ourselves. It seems that the past couple of days, the word power has come to mind. And we've seen power be twisted and distorted throughout the year in the past couple of years with what's been happening in the world. And there's a difference between the power that we have inside, sharing our talents, our skills, and our gifts versus abusing our power or, things along the lines of that. So, especially as a message to our little ones, how can we, as caregivers, parents, and custodians of children, how can we help kids to discover their personal power, to help them remember their personal power?
I think, firstly, I think we need to encourage our children to understand that if they have a dream or a wish or a hope in their hearts, I believe it is there for a reason. It is meant to be nurtured and manifested. Let's see. I believe that it's very important to teach our children to speak kindly to themselves, to speak to themselves in the same way they would speak to their dearest friend or someone else they love, because there is incredible power in the words we say to ourselves.
Very true.
Teach them the power in personal affirmations. Maybe they're not so great at everything. Maybe they wish they were better at something, but teach them the I am statements. I am kind. I am loving. I am a hard worker. I am a good friend. I set goals, things like that. It just raises their self-esteem and helps them feel more powerful, I believe. Yeah. And can I just go back then when you were talking about that one illustration with the child holding the umbrella? Because I was cracking up there a little. That illustration is a tribute to someone that I loved very much that I lost to suicide. And that is one of the reasons that led me to write this book. I was not in the best place, and I knew I had to find something positive to focus on, and thankfully I turned to this book. But his cover photo on Facebook was a child holding an umbrella over a cat in the rain with the caption, "My religion is very simple. My religion is kindness." And he was one of the kindest men to ever walk this planet. So that illustration is also my favorite illustration in the book, and it's my way of honoring him. And I'm just overjoyed that he'll be there in this book forever. That is also my favorite illustration.
Thank you for sharing that, Lori. It's a very touching tribute. It's a very touching tribute.
Thank you.
There,
and bless my illustrator, there was a totally different illustration for that verse, and I couldn't get it out of my head, honoring this man that I lost. And he went back to the drawing board and redid the whole illustration for me. He's just the most beautiful man.
And your illustrator very much captured the heart, captured the essence of what it was that your heart was trying to convey. So it's always such a good feeling when an author and illustrator are in sync with one another. And if there's something that maybe can't be articulated into words, it's like, this is what I'm trying to express from my heart. And the illustrator says, aha, I know how to do it. And they can capture it and design it and draw it and share it even better than it can be, than we could ever draw it and share it, if that makes sense. When we're obviously remembering our personal power, we can, again, it seems like a little bit of a running theme, but again, there can be some self-doubt. There can also be one of my favorite words, what used to be one of my favorite words, I should say, and that's resistance, right? Resistance. So I used to be the kind of person that would tell myself, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go for, to take care of it, or I'm going to do this. And it's the more time you say that you're going to do something, you can, as the folks at Nike just say quite regularly, just do it, right? So I feel that there are many people that are tuning in this week, whether it be entrepreneurs, children's authors, parents, whether it be people, just salt of the earth people that are just wanting to take their most important steps on this path that they chose to walk. So, Lori, I feel that the question then is, how can we move through and overcome resistance to take inspired action? When it comes to that, what would you like to share with our listeners and viewers here this evening and this week?
I could have written the book on not listening to my inner guidance, my intuition, letting self-doubt prevent me from doing the things that I really wanted to do. I think we just need to teach children to be still and really pay attention to what's in their hearts. I think teaching them to meditate, where they just shut out the outside world and just really listen to what's in their little hearts. It helps guide them on the right path. Just be still, be quiet. And what's important to them the things they want to do in this world, they'll become clear to them. And if you have that in your heart, a hope, a wish, a dream, as adults or children, it's there for a reason. Don't let anything stop you. Go for it and keep pushing until it manifests.
I think, and that was beautifully shared, Lori. I feel two things, if I may add on to that as well too. And it was, one of the things that I had just alluded to moments ago is the importance of being gentle and compassionate with yourself. I actually, a very, very kind man here in San Diego. He's my new chiropractor. Hello, Dr. Glenn, if you happen to be watching this week's episode of the Children's Book Spotlight series. And I'm moving forth in my own next steps. And he was just very compassionate when he said this. He says, Jonathan, you no longer need to be hard on yourself. Like he met me one time, right? And he just kind of like picked up on that very quickly. And it's just like, we can keep telling ourselves, I want to get here. I want to do this. Why aren't I am where I want to be? And we can create more resistance, more discomfort for ourselves by beating ourselves up. And that's not going to help in any way, shape, or form. And just taking small steps, because eventually those small steps, right? You take the time, let's say eventually you want to be able to run 3 miles a day, right? Start off by maybe running, 3/4 of a mile or half a mile. Do what it is that you can do with where you're at right now. Inch out of your comfort zone a little bit. And then eventually you'll get to that point where you're running the 3 miles every day, or however that may necessarily look and feel and translate to yourself. We're beginning to wind down our time with our featured guest here this week on the Empowered Publicity Children's Book Spotlight series. Again, Lori Parks is joining us all the way from the beautiful country of Canada, the wonderful province of Ontario, one of my favorite provinces in all of Canada. Her brand new release, The Power of One, it is now available. You can head on over to her official website, which is loriparksauthor.com. Again, we have the link below in the comments so that you can already purchase your copy of Lori's book as of right now. If you wish to be able to purchase your copy via Amazon, and Lori, I would love if you would be kind to share, as we begin to conclude our time here tonight, if you would be kind to share the inspiration behind the Power of One pledge, and if you could actually recite that so that our listeners and our viewers can actually share this as part of their daily practice.
Yes. My favorite part in the book at the very end is my Power of One pledge. I have a gift, a superpower. It's called the Power of One. If I believe in it and me, then all things can be done. I pledge to use my power for good by looking for small ways to share one act of kindness with one person every day. With love and courage in my heart, a hero I can be. Some great things come from only one. I'll let that one be me. And then on the other side is my Power of One pledge. I pledge to find one way each day to help in my own special way. One small kind act is all it takes to make this world a better place. Some great things come from only one. I'll let that one be me. And then there's a space for the children to sign their names and date it, pledging to walk through this world with kindness and to try to do one kind thing for one person every day. So that's really my favorite part of the book at the end.
It's such a perfect way to conclude your book, Laura. And one of the resonating messages throughout the Children's Book Spotlight series over the past 2+ years that I've been very blessed and fortunate to host this program is that I feel that children's books provide so much healing for adults as well too. So if you are an adult, even if you don't necessarily have a little one in your life just yet, and let's say you are reparenting, you're reconnecting with your inner child, and you want to sign the Power of One pledge, you can actually do this yourself, right? Little inner Jonathan can sign that and date that November 23rd, 2020. And remember, when you're writing something, you are helping to anchor it into your reality. Lori, one of my favorite segments here, shifting from one of the favorite parts of your book to one of the favorite segments here on the Children's Book Spotlight series. It's a little tip of the cap to our favorite neighbor, Mr. Rogers, who, of course, through his legendary and beloved television children's program, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, he encouraged all of us for many years, many decades, to be able to be true to ourselves and to remember just how special that we are. And one of the things that Mr. Rogers did when he received his Lifetime Achievement Award at the Daytime Emmys, shortly before he passed, and he did this throughout several different times in his life, whether he was doing a commencement address at a college, or if he was just talking with, some of his close friends or his fellow neighbors on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. He reminded all of us to take the time, and he kept the time as well too, whether it be 5 seconds, 15 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute, whatever that time frame may look like for you, to remember, to acknowledge, to take the time to remember those who helped love you into being. So, Lori, as a little tip of the cap to our favorite neighbor, Mr. Rogers. Again, he reminded all of us to remember those who helped love us into being. You've mentioned your grandson. You've mentioned we have had the opportunities to connect with your friend Terry. Your daughter's joining you tonight to show some support. Who are some of the other people that you would like to acknowledge tonight, this week, on episode number 97 of the Children's Book Spotlight series that helped love you into being?
So many, Jonathan. My parents, Ruth and John, who are also thanked on my dedication page. My publisher, Miriam Laundry. Oh my gosh. The most wonderful mentor, the most beautiful human being on the planet. Thank you, Miriam, for believing in me and the power of one. You've helped make my dream come true. My grade 4 teacher, Mrs. Dunstan, who read my first poem. I had to write a poem in her class. It's so beautiful. She's still alive. And I can't wait to be able to present her with this book. She knew I wanted to be a writer, and now I have. My sister Joanne, who has coached me through a program called Thinking into Results through this whole writing journey, helping me set clearly defined goals, practice the power of gratitude daily. Thank you, Joanne. I love you. My husband, Frank, who has worked double time this year to make sure I have the finances I need for this project. He's worked through a concussion, blown out knees, most recently an accident with a skill saw. Never missed a beat. Never missed a beat. He was just been there for me this whole time, making sure this dream comes true for me. So Frankie, I love you. Thank you. Too many people to list, Jonathan. I'm so blessed. I'm just so blessed.
Well, one of our other favorite segments here is a little segment that we like to call 3 Wishes. One of my favorite Disney films of all time. We go back to 1992. We remember Robin Williams playing the Genie of the Lamp. And of course, it was rechristened in his own amazing way, Will Smith, a couple of years ago, Disney's live action remake of Aladdin. I feel that all of us are here to be able to help one another bring to form and shape the heartfelt wishes that lie within our soul. I like to call them earth angels, people that come across our path. They might be in our life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, so to speak. So you have helped so many people, not only within your immediate family, you're helping to nurture the minds and hearts and souls of children all across Canada, all across the United States, all around the world, and you're helping to bring families closer together as well, too, for the holiday season. So, Lori, you are being gifted 3 wishes tonight on the Children's Book Spotlight series here on episode number 97 of the program. So what would those 3 wishes be? Now, bear in mind, they can be for yourself, they can be for your family, they can be for the planet, they can be, to make Canada even a more beautiful country than what it is as of right now. What would those 3 wishes be for yourself, Lori?
My first wish is that we get through to the other side of this pandemic as quickly as possible. I thought I was going to miss so many things, but the only thing I realized that I missed is being with my family, hugging the people I love. And there are just so many, I think of the elderly people. My mom is 95 years old. This has been very difficult for trying to keep her safe and not be around her too much. But I just pray that everybody will be reunited very soon with their families, and we can just hug and love on each other. I pray for an end to all abuses in the world, whether domestic, animal, child, elder. We don't need that in this world. I pray that those end. And my third wish, the Power of One gets into the hands of as many children as possible around the world. I want children to understand at the earliest age possible they can be and do anything they want to be. There is great power in one. They just need to believe in themselves and they can do anything.
So true. So true. Lori, I do hope that you are going to be bringing more children's books into the world. I'm not necessarily sure if, we always like to reserve our closing moments on the program to share, because we're literally just like about a month away from the brand new year of 2021. Some of our listeners and viewers may be even watching episode number 97 of the Children's Book Spotlight. It already may be 2021 in some way, shape, or form. Have you thought about bringing any other children's books to form and shape in the new year? And if so, could you give a little bit of a sneak peek on what it is that you have planned for 2021 for the little ones?
Jonathan, I honestly don't have anything in the works right now. I know I have a million stories inside me. I have a writing trunk that sits beside my bed filled with writing I've done over the years. I just need to pull something from there. It's already written. I just need to find the next thing to focus on and bring into the world. So there will be more, I promise you.
That is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. Again, for all of you, our listeners and viewers, our friends and neighbors, again, you can purchase your copy of The Power of One. It is now available by heading on over to Lori's official website, loriparksauthor.com. You can purchase your copy for yourself, your inner child, for the little one in your life, whether it be your child's. If you're a grandmother or grandfather, you can purchase it for your grandchild. If you are a teacher or a librarian, a perfect book for your students, for not only for the upcoming holiday season, but to be able to guide them along the way on their path in 2021 in the process. If you would like to be able to purchase your copy on Amazon, it will be available in mid-December. Again, feel free to leave a 5-star review if you feel guided to do so as well, too, as that's one of the many ways that you can help Lori and all children's authors all across the country and around the world. Before we conclude our trolley stop here, before we put the bow, so to speak, that's a nice holiday reference, before we put the bow on this week's episode of the Children's Book Spotlight series, we also wanted to continue to briefly share some of the amazing work from one of the shining stars in the kidlit community, and that is Keely Connor Lonning. We've had the opportunities to showcase and spotlight several of her books throughout the month of November on the Empowered Publicity Children's Book Spotlight series. And the beautiful book that we're going to be sharing and just briefly mentioning here this evening and this week is Our Mighty You, which is really where it all began for Keely, with things like just a short time ago. It's interesting how somehow time has stood still, yet time has sped up, yet somehow time doesn't exist. It's such a beautiful book. When I just had my hands on the copy of Our Wonderful You for the first time, there was such joy that I felt in my heart. It really is a celebration, an appreciation of the unconditional bond of love that parents have with their children. There's amazing illustrations, just like in all of Keely's books, that will really bring such delight to your heart, to your soul, and to that of your little one in the process. It's based on a true story. You got to love children's books that are based on true stories, just like Lori's and just like Keely. If you are bringing a newborn into the world for the first time this holiday season, this is a great book for you as well in the process, because of course, one of the greatest gifts that you can have is becoming a father for the first time, or becoming a mother for the first time, or even a grandmother for the first time, or a grandfather for the first time. So, if you're, moving through some sorts of challenges and emotions that are a little uncomfortable, especially as a result of bringing a little one into the world for the first time, this is the perfect book that can help remember your purpose as a parent or as a grandparent, and bring a lot of soothing and nurturance into your mind and to heart. It makes a great gift for Thanksgiving, for Christmas, Kwanzaa, for Hanukkah, but also for baby showers and for birthdays and for graduation. Such a heartfelt, such an inspiring story. We have the official link where you can purchase your copy of Our Wonderful You along with Keely's official website. You can be able to learn more. You can purchase your copy as well of Our Wonderful You. We are so excited. Next week on the Empowered Publicity Children's Book Spotlight Series, the countdown to our 100th episode is almost complete. We are going to be staying in the state of California, and we are going to be joined by one of our newest neighbors out in the state of California, and we're going to be sharing her brand new release, Isabella and Penelope. Maggie Grinnell is going to be joining us next week on the Empowered Publicity Children's Book Spotlight Series to share her children's book, Isabella and Penelope. So if you have gone through the loss of a loved one, if your little one has lost a loved one for the first time in their entire life, and they're looking for some reassurance, if they're looking for some support, some comfort, acknowledging, helping them to remember that love is eternal, that love never dies, that it only changes form. If you're looking for something to be able to help your little one navigate through grief and loss, especially of a loved one, Maggie's going to be sharing some insightful and some heart-opening information, as well as her brand new book. Again, we'll be showcasing this on episode number 98 of the Empowered Publicity Children's Book Spotlight Series next Monday, November the 30th at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. Be sure to take note. We encourage all of you to join us as we migrate officially over to Empowered Publicity's YouTube channel beginning as of December the 1st. So if you are one of the many thousands of people who like and follow Empowered Publicity on Facebook, we are sharing our official YouTube channel below as all brand new episodes of the Empowered Publicity Children's Book Spotlight Series and Storytime with Mr. Jonathan, our official new home, the home of everything, will be on our official YouTube channel. That is youtube.com/empowered publicity. So if you have helped us, supported us throughout the past 6.5 years here at PR from the Heart, we encourage you to be able to pledge your support with that simple subscribe to Empowered Publicity's YouTube channel. We look forward to sharing all of the amazing things that we have in store for all of you in the month of December, including episode number 100 of the Empowered Publicity Children's Book Spotlight Series. And also, we did want to just give a little brief preview of episode number 20. One of our favorite neighbors from the beautiful area of Buffalo in Western New York, Susan Arts, will be sharing her brand new release, The Green Gem, courtesy of our friends and neighbors at Christian Faith Publishing. We're going to be learning about the importance of honesty, telling the truth, and doing the right thing. Such a magical story, heartwarming tale that we're going to be sharing, and it's the next adventure in the Liddy and Sassy series. Now, again, if this message has inspired you, the message of the power of one, Lori's story, if this message has inspired you, if it's brought healing into your heart, if you feel that it needs to be shared with someone in need, we encourage you to share episode number 97 of the Empowered Publicity Children's Book Spotlight Series on your favorite social media platforms as well. If you are a children's author or you are a children's illustrator and you would like to share your inspiring story, the release of your brand new children's book on the Empowered Publicity story, on the Empowered Publicity Children's Book Spotlight Series, you would like to join the Empowered Publicity family and see how we can be of service to you, feel free to head on over to our official website at empoweredpublicity.com, or you can connect with us via any of our social media platforms, Facebook and Instagram at Empowered Publicity, and Twitter at Empowered_PR. If you are a children's author or children's illustrator and would like to have us be able to share your brand new children's book as part of our all new season of the Story Time with Mr. Jonathan, you also know how to connect with us right now. at empoweredpublicity.com, Facebook and Instagram at Empowered Publicity, and Twitter at empowered_PR. And lastly, if you are a children's author, if you are as well an inspirational and spiritual author, and you would like to be able to learn more information about how we can be of service to you here at Empowered Publicity, if you are looking to be able to share the release of your brand new book for the coming new year, if you would like to learn more information about our virtual media tour, if you would like to be able to facilitate your own book and media tour in a city of your choosing, if you would like to be able to learn more about our media coaching and mentoring program, feel free to head on over to empoweredpublicity.com. You can schedule your courtesy discovery call and again see how we can be of service to you in the brand new year, which is just a few short days away. Once again, one final time, a brand new release courtesy of our friends and neighbors at Miriam Laundry, The Power of One. It is now available. You can head on over to Lori Park's official website at loriparksauthor.com. Purchase your copy of The Power of One right now. You can also purchase your copy in December, mid-December, on Amazon. Make sure that you take a note, even if you're holding off until December, or if you purchase your copy of Lori's book now, to leave a 5-star review on Amazon, as that will continue to be able to allow this book to be able to get into more hearts and hands of little ones all across the country and all around the world. Let us not forget, of course, the message that our favorite neighbor has left us, even though he's no longer with us here in the physical. Mr. Rogers reminded us, and he's still continuing to remind us, that we are perfect, we are whole, we are healthy, we are complete, just the way that we are. And that is the same for you, my fellow friends, my fellow neighbors, my fellow shining stars. That you are perfect, you are whole, you are healthy, you are complete, just the way that you are. That I like you just the way that you are. And since, of course, Lori's joining us here, let us remember our favorite numbers as well at the Children's Book Spotlight Series, which is 243, which means that we love you. So from our hearts in Peterborough, Ontario, and San Diego, California, to all of you, thank you so much for taking the time to tune in this week for episode number 97 of the Empowered Publicity Children's Book Spotlight Series. Thank you for your continued support of Empowered Publicity, for PR from the heart. Thank you for your support of children's authors, children's illustrators, all across the country and all around the world. And most important, thank you for helping to walk home the children of the world. So we look forward to connecting with all of you once again very soon. And to all of you again here in the United States, we wish all of you, our shining stars, a safe and blessed Thanksgiving holiday. I'll talk to all of you once again very soon, because of course, you know what time it is. The trolley is about to depart. We've got to catch that trolley. Thanks again, friends and neighbors and shining stars. We look forward to connecting with all of you once again very soon.